Let me transfer you.
Switch to Farm Bureau Insurance today and get real service instead of getting really tangled up. For auto, home, life, and health, get the membership advantage. Get Farm Bureau Insurance.
Another road game for us. Opportunity to go up and play Towson. I know Coach Ambrose. I know him personally. Good man. I know they're having some issues with some injuries, but I do know that they're going to be ready to play. They've had some issues on offense, but defensively they are fast and they do a lot of things. Try to present a lot of issues and problems for you. So we're expecting a pretty good game, a very very exciting game for them because. People made fact of the 2007 game where Richmond lost. I asked the guys the other day who of those went up to that game, and a handful of guys raised their hands as far as making that trip. So there's a lot of guys that haven't made that trip or haven't been up there or don't know about that game, but there's enough that will remind everybody else that you can't fall into a lull, you can't take anything for granted. Because you can, on any given Saturday, you got to be able to play. So we're excited about the opportunity to go up there and play them.
Thank you. Question?
Mike, this winning streak keeps growing. I'm wondering if there's any downside to that. There's any part of you who wishes you'd take an L now and sort of get refocused and remotivated?
No, there's no part of me that wishes that on me. But it's one of those things that. You just keep preparing and trying to execute to give yourself a chance to win at the end of the game or as the game goes on. And in a couple instances, at the end of the game, we gave ourselves a chance to win, Delaware and James Madison. And then, you do well enough to give yourself a chance to win as we did against UMass by getting up on them early and with the turnover. So you always want to, present yourself or put yourself in position to win games. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it don't. That's why they have a left and a right column for tracking those things. But right now we'll take what we can get and hopefully earn everything we get.
Have you had to invent new motivational tactics just yourself as a head coach? Because at some point I got to believe that the message has got to change, even though the focus remains the same. And I know you've got a senior team that tends to do away with a lot of that, but have you had to kind of reinvent the way you get these guys ready for each week?
That's something you'll have to ask the players as far as responding to. I try to appeal to their competitiveness, the competitive nature as a football player. I try to challenge different individuals, position groups that in order for us to win, they're going to have to do well, play well. And for the most part, most of the guys have responded. You're right, after a while you can only throw so many chairs and things like that. But I just think that the atmosphere around here is one of expectation to play well enough to win and that we have to continue to do well enough to continue winning. If we don't, then we're not going to do well. So I think this is a team that understands that the game is a game of situations, and you have to be on top in all those situations. And we got a lot of areas to improve in, but the motivation factor I think is one that with an older group that understands what it takes to win, and you guys have been out to our practices. I mean, when we practice, when we go hard, but our practices are try to make them light, try to make them fun, try to do challenging things, and I think as long as I can control the atmosphere that, hey, look, don't play tight, don't play not to win, don't play, guys play not to lose. I mean, let's play to win games, and I think that's probably a characteristic of this team.
Mike, is the way some of these games ended, Northern Iowa, Delaware, JMU, to increase the confidence level?
I think it does, John. It increases the confidence level, but also brings an awareness to you can be a play away or 2 plays away or a drive away from it going the other way, and so it heightens your awareness of the importance of converting on third down, putting the ball away in a final drive situation, getting your hands up in the throwing lane when the quarterback throws. It just makes you aware of those things, and I think the players have responded to that by the way they prepare, by understanding the circumstance and the situation that we're in, and then just playing hard, because these guys they play hard.
Coach, Nick Hicks took the first punt in the last game. Is that going to be something that you use more regularly, or is that just kind of a one-time thing?
With the injury of Brian Radford, we had to find out who were the next best guys, and we've had Brett Wagoner in our program for a while, and he's a punter and he does a good job at it. And we found out that Nick also punted in high school, and the week before we said, look, Nick, take a couple shots, and actually did quite well. He's a one-step guy, and he gets it off. So, and obviously with a guy like Nick back there being a quarterback, you have all the other issues that can go along with that. But he's our second team punter right now, and hopefully we'll plan on using him in ways that we can, make the most or take advantage of when he's in the game.
You coach in the NFL. Is Eric Ward an NFL quarterback?
In my opinion, I think Eric is a quarterback that once he gets a chance to get into a camp in the NFL, he's going to surprise a lot of people. Is he that flashy guy, that first round, second, third round guy? Maybe not. But I've seen quarterbacks that are the second, third quarterback that that make a team because of the way they play. Headsy players, make good decisions, solid. So I liken Eric to that kind of situation. And in the end, he'll be judged and rated after all the games are over, and we'll see what happens at the end of the season, where he has an opportunity to hopefully get into a camp and do something.
Would you project him as a draft pick or a free agent signing?
It's hard to say, John. I definitely think he's going to get into someone's camp. I can say that, whether or not it's a late draft pick or a free agent. But I feel fairly confident about his ability to get a look by someone.
Has there been any kind of fundamental changes in your defensive secondary with you guys have all of a sudden started picking everything out of the air, especially this past week against UMass, or is it a product of maybe facing more teams that have given up on the run against your defense?
I think it's a combination of both. I think that we practice hard in terms of trying to get the ball, make plays on the ball, particularly in the air. And we have to challenge our corners and our safeties, challenge them more, that they're as fast as any receivers here in the conference. And sometimes, I play back there, and sometimes it's a lonely position back there, and you're afraid sometimes to get the ball thrown by you. But that's part of the creed of a defensive back. I mean, you're going to be one-on-one. You're going to be only person seen when the ball's thrown deep. So we challenge the DBs to make breaks and get their hands on the football. And we practiced it a lot. And you're right, this game was one of those games that a lot of people got their hands on the ball. But also we had two linebackers and a defensive lineman that made interceptions. So the underneath coverage by the linebackers is just as important as the secondary. But I think collectively the back seven, I got to include Parker Biles in that because he leads our team in interceptions right now as a D lineman. So I think that just an awareness of where the ball is going to be thrown, when it's going to be thrown. These guys have done a great job with it.
We talked a couple weeks ago about this being more of a second half team for whatever reason. Against the defense like Towson's that has struggled at times this year, is it more important to get going early and not allow a team like that to hang around in a game like this, especially when you guys are on the road?
Well, I think it's more important to get going wherever you play, particularly on the road, because of things that are out of your control. And I think that Towson is a team. It's a very talented team defensively because they do so many things. They blitz you from everywhere, and they create the negatives and create situations where tackles for losses and all that. So we have to minimize those situations and also take advantage of when that happens with with our protections and where we're throwing the ball and all that. So it's crucial in any game. You want to start fast, or you want to be able to dictate the field position as you're playing. And I understand that the weather issue will be similar as it was this past Saturday up there with rain and a little bit of wind. So, whatever happens, we just got to be ready to play and be ready to execute.